Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. So today's episode was supposed to be something else, but before we knew it, it's already Thursday, and this episode is going to come out literally tomorrow.
So that's a little awkward, and now we're recording a new episode.
Yeah, I mean, it'll work out. I think we have a pretty solid topic or solid few topics to kind of just go over in this episode. But the episode that was supposed to be today's recording will just come out the next recording. But that's a pretty solid one. I don't want to spoil anything. When it comes out, y'all will know.
So yeah, stay tuned.
Definitely. So for today's episode, we're actually going to be talking about a few things. One of the things kind of combined with the other. First, we're going to be talking about some conferences that we went to for our school. We each just went to one. Mine was like a leadership conference. What was yours, babe?
Mine was getting ready for like law school applications and then law school like in general.
Okay, yeah. And then we're going to be talking about our sticker game, how we've been getting that up. I mean, I've been buying stickers pretty much like everywhere I go now.
So,
I'm running out of
stuff.
Bottle. I need a new bottle. I need like somewhere to put stickers that I can just like strut around. Because I still have some stickers that I haven't been able to put on that I've been wanting to, but they're just too big.
I know, they are massive.
And yeah, and then we're going to talk about Dutch Bros Coffee. That place was popping. It was
opened yesterday
so on
Wednesday.
National Coffee Day. And they gave out free stickers. I was like, I was going to buy one, right? I was like, do y'all have stickers? And they're like, oh, yeah, we got some. And the dude went and he came back and he brought
like 6 stickers.
6 stickers. And I was like, shit, this is so boys. They were free, right? And coffee was mid. It wasn't too amazing, but.
Okay, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Jolene gave it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I was like a 6 out of 10, which I mean, it's not bad. So, average between two of us, 6.5. It wasn't like, and we got a vanilla latte, which is kind of how we base our rating on because we get an iced vanilla latte like at every coffee place we go to.
Yeah, just so we can stick with the same thing.
Yeah.
And like see if it's good or not.
Yeah. And then we, obviously once we've already tried that, then whenever we go to new coffee places, we'll kind of branch out and try new things. But for our first going at pretty much every coffee place we go to, it's always kind of like an iced vanilla latte or some sort of cold brew or something like that, right?
Yeah,
and,
but the experience overall, going to this new coffee place, it was crazy. Everybody was so nice.
It was, honestly. It was like the lady came out, right? I mean, they had a pretty good system, it seemed like they were preparing because they knew that this first day was going to be busy, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we're like at the end of the line and I'm expecting to get our coffee like at the drive-through window, right? Like the window. And this lady comes out of the door with the 2 coffees and she's like, hey.
She's like dancing.
I know. And I was like, is that for us? And I didn't want to roll the window down because I was like, that shit would be so embarrassing if she's like that for the car behind us. And I roll my window down, I'm like, hey. And then she passes us. But no, it was for us. And it was really cool. Free stickers. Not bad coffee, not the worst, but definitely not the best. I think like what I rated like 5th as far as like places that we've tried, right? Because it was like Summer Moon, Merit Coffee, Local Coffee.
Mojo's. Mojo's was second. And then what was the other one? I forgot. What about that coffee place you tried in Austin?
Oh, yeah, Joe's.
Joe's
was pretty good. But as far as San Antonio goes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 places that we had in Austin were actually pretty good. It was like Little Brothers Bakery or something like that.
Something.
Some Little
like
Brothers,
that, yeah.
right? And then I tried Joe's this last time I went with my family. And we're going to try it the next time we go. We're actually going to go to Austin here in December, like around Christmas time.
Yes, it's going to be so exciting.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be real fun. We're going to eat some good food. We're going to go to the Austin Public Library, the Book People bookstore. We're going to get some coffee at Joe's. And then, I mean, honestly, we'll see what else we're feeling. Like, I feel like we should show up like pretty early so we can spend a lot of time and do whatever we want there, you know?
Oh, yeah. Whenever we went this last time, it was kind of like 10 o'clock, I feel like.
Yeah. But there was traffic, and we also stopped at Buc-ee's.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we left here at 10 because we had to get something. Was it like gas or air?
Oh, yeah, we did. So there was a lot of pit stops. So that's why we got there kind of later. This last time I went with my parents, we left, like 10:05. And, I mean, we got there like 11:30. And,
yeah,
but we didn't stop for Buc-ee's or gas or nothing. So maybe we need to make sure I do that like the day before.
Oh, yeah, and get some snacks for the road. Because when we were coming back, we got hungry. Oh,
yeah, we did. And so we'll bring stuff, and I'll pack it in the cooler. So we'll have drinks, and then we'll have some snacks for the road. That way, like, the only reason we would have to stop is if we have to go pee. But, if we can hold it until we get to Austin, but yeah, anyways, that's a couple months ahead, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited. I mean, shit, even like literally tomorrow, the release of this episode is going to be October 1st, the official start of spooky season.
That's crazy.
And I'm hyped for that. Tomorrow, my family and I are going to set up, I was under the assumption we were just going to set up our Scarecrow Malachi, which I had mentioned in the last episode, the excited for the holiday season.
Oh, yeah.
And, I think my mom was like, I mean, shit, well, we're all going to be there. Your brother doesn't have a band concert or anything or like a band performance. I was like, you're off. Your dad's going to be here. I'm going to be here. Let's just set up everything. Because like, when do we all have time like this,
That's so true.
When it's during the day. Because, I mean, we'll all see each other, but it won't be till like nighttime because all of our schedules are so different. And she was like, let's just bust everything out. Let's get it going. I'm like, all right. So when my brother gets out of school and whenever he's up for it, we'll go and get to it. Probably around dinner time, but preferably, before it's dark. It's not like we have a lot of stuff, but, we got like fake spider webs, some fake spiders, a skeleton, stuff like that.
Yeah. It should look nice.
Yeah. I'm pretty hyped. But yeah, overall, Dutch Bros, nice experience, the free stickers, and then like kind of leading into like the stickers and stuff. I mean, when I went to Austin this last time, I got a few stickers actually. I got one from the Black's Barbecue, and then I got one from the San Antonio Public Library. That was the one on my mug here, Taco Therapy. And then I got one from Joe's. And I mean, every coffee place we've gone to, if they have a sticker, I usually pick it up.
Yeah.
I don't think I've not picked up a sticker from a coffee place.
I don't think so either. Every place.
Yeah.
You've gotten one.
And I don't know. It's been cool. Like everything's stickered up. My laptop, my 3 cups. I got a mug. I got a Hydro Flask water bottle, and then a Hydro Flask coffee travel mug, and they're all stickered up. Pretty much no room for anything. But I don't know. I'm running out of stuff to sticker, and I like stickers a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, my barber put me on. I used to really like stickers back in elementary school. They had those machines like in the hallway where you could it was like 2 quarters and you could get a sticker.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
And I used to always collect the Pokemon ones and then the Ben 10 ones. And I stickered up all of my binders pretty much like 3rd through 5th grade.
That's so cute.
And so I was at a point very into stickers. And then, I don't know, I kind of got out of it. And now I'm like back into it and heavy. If I see stickers, it's like the urge to not buy it is so hard. Because, they're pretty like cheap. I will admit that Taco Therapy one was $3, which is kind of expensive for a sticker, because usually they're like $1.50, but sometimes they are a little expensive, because of the size, or maybe it's really colorful. But yeah, it was pretty cool, all the stickers and stuff. But yeah. All right, did you want to start with your conference, or did you want me to start talking about mine?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I have my notes here because I actually took notes.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, yeah. I didn't take that many notes.
You're crazy.
I was kind of just listening.
Well, it's just like bullet points on my phone. And so let me so this leadership conference at UTSA, it was like Leader U leadership conference, something like that, right? And I actually got a sticker there, put it on my laptop. And there was 2 sessions, right? Or you came, there was like the introduction, welcome everybody to the UTSA Leader U conference, right? And
why do you make their voices like that?
And then after that, we did breakout sessions, 2 breakout sessions, which you were able to choose from. because there was like multiple sessions. It kind of reminded me of like the student council leadership conferences.
Yeah, the way you were explaining it the other day, like literally the night that we FaceTimed.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It did sound like that.
It was pretty cool. And I actually asked a few people there. I was like, were y'all in student council? Because the way y'all are acting, like, I'm getting the vibes that y'all were in student council. And they were like, yeah, we were. And I was like, that's fucking bananas, because I was too. And it was very reminiscent of it. But obviously everybody, I mean, there was all ages, all different types of majors there.
Oh, yeah.
Like all grade levels. Like I was a sophomore. There was lots of freshmen there, lots of juniors. I think I only met one sophomore. Everybody else was like a junior, a freshman, or a senior. And most of them were around my age, but there were some who were like late into their 20s, even like a couple 30-year-olds.
That's crazy.
And I mean, it was cool. So the first breakout session, right? And the one that I chose to go to was called Conditioned Self versus Authentic Self. And they kind of had descriptions of all of these. So that's kind of what I went off of. I didn't go off of the title. I went off of the description of it, right? And so some of the notes here that I took, right? So your conditioned self is what limits us or holds us back. It's the fear, the negative thinking, the feeling down, etc., anything like that, right? And the purpose of the conditioned self, right, that conditioned self that you build like internally is for like quote unquote protection. It's being judged as you were growing up and becoming addicted to the love and approval from others. Like that's what caused you to create that conditioned self, right?
Okay.
It's that it's not really your true self. It's not your authentic self, which I'll get into here in a second. And it's something that you, it's like a kind of like a barrier, like a wall or like a mask that you put on in order to, you know, get that approval from others or in order to fit in, you know? And so, kind of what I drew from that and what the lady was talking about is, you know, societal norms. A lot of times we're so afraid to be ourselves because of the societal norms that, you know, everybody like just places on you on an everyday basis, you know. Like I don't think I've gotten better at being my authentic self. Like I'm very comfortable. I'm not too worried about what others think of me most of the time. I think it's very situational. Like in terms of like if I'm like just out doing stuff, right? I don't really care what I'm wearing or how I'm acting per se. But if I'm in an instance where I'm leading a group of people or I'm working in a group, that is where I do get worried about, you know, what do they think of me? Like, do they think I'm a good person because I'm trying to be authentic, but I'm also trying to be nice and come across as somebody approachable. Like I don't want them to think I'm like some creepy dude, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes I've given off that vibe, but because I'm trying to be overly nice, like I'm trying to I'm trying to overcompensate for something that, you know, something that I didn't even do. You know what I mean? Like I look at other guys and creeps that do stuff to girls, and like with guys I don't really do this, but it's when I interact with other girls, right? I try to overcompensate and be nice and be this approachable guy because I don't know if they've had an experience, like a negative experience with a guy who was weird, right? And I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know. I've never been too good at like talking to girls because I was trying to overcompensate in that way. It's not so much that I was like nervous around them. It was just literally I didn't want to come off as weird. And I feel like in doing that, then I came off as weird, you know? But
yeah, it was kind of like too forceful.
Yeah. And I think I've gotten better at it, but I don't know. Anyway, so societal norms, right? That's what I got from that. And what another thing, right, that I drew from it, right? The mindsets that are keeping you in your conditioned self is the self-belief that you can't get any further than where you are. Like this feeling of like you're stuck where you are. You're not going to get out of it. Just continue to do what you're doing because it's working, you know? And I think in a lot of ways I was feeling that. I mean, even with like some of my current circumstances, which I'm finally, you know, being proactive and making a change for myself because I felt like I was stuck, or I felt like I had this obligation to something, even though, you know, I didn't, and I knew I didn't, but something in me felt like I did have this, you know, this need to stay there. Like, oh, if I leave, like everything's going to fall apart. But that's, for one, that's kind of like, I don't know how you'd call it. Not a selfish mindset, but like an egotistical mindset. You know what I mean? Like this belief that, oh, the organization is going to fall apart if I leave. Like, I don't know. It's not really like I felt like it was going to fall apart, but I just felt like they were losing something if I left, right? And I mean, I guess in a sense, if any employee or team member or anything like that leaves something, like, yeah, they are losing something, then they have to fill that role with somebody else. But, you know, it can always be filled by somebody else. And I needed to realize that, you know, not like to shit on myself and make me feel like, oh, my position there wasn't like worth anything. It's just like, you know, you don't have any long-term commitment to this. It's okay if you leave and move on to something that's beneficial to you, you know, more beneficial to you. And I was thinking about that, like, you know, the feeling of being stuck. And I'm like, there's been a lot of instances where I felt like that. When I was in football, I felt like I was stuck, right? Because of the way that my dad or like people around me would say, you know, like you have to choose something, right? And at the end of the day, you know, like you got to choose between some sort of extracurricular activity. I mean, I was in Boy Scouts, football, art, band. Like I was trying to be in everything, right? And I got burnt out. And so like that sophomore year of high school, I didn't do anything, but because I was severely burnt out. And so kind of getting into your authentic self, right? And I'll connect those two here in a second, right? So your authentic self is talking positive, internal self-worth, love, being empowered, anything along those lines. And to get to your authentic self, you just have to be you, you know, live in the moment, enjoy yourself, have fun, be joyful, and stop seeking others' approval. And I was listening to this and interpreting it, right? And these are just kind of like summarizations of what, like the main points that she was talking about, right? And I mean, I understood that. And I felt like I was embodying that, but only in some parts of my life. You know, like I think I'm my most authentic with you, like completely 100% honest. And she did explain this, like your authentic self isn't like one-sided. You know, like you could be your authentic self with your parents, but there also is another side to your authentic self that you are with your friends or your significant other. You know what I mean? Like the way that I act with you isn't necessarily the way that I'm going to act with my friends. Even though I'm the same person, both sides are different, but also my authentic self, you know?
Yeah.
And I know for a little bit there, hanging out with my friends, this was back like in middle school. I think like summer high school, like my freshman, sophomore year, like I was trying to put on this persona with my friends of like this dude who's like just fucking getting down and dirty. I would do anything, you know, you tell me to do it, I'll fucking do it. I don't care, you know? And I mean, like, yeah, I got a lot of attention for that. I got a lot of people to recognize me for that. And I became that guy like, oh, Trevino would do anything, bro. And like, I mean, that's cool. And like, I still kind of do have that mentality, but because I get hyped up from my friends, but I understand I have a limit. I'm not dead ass just going to do anything that anybody tells me to do. Right. And, you know, I wasn't being authentic to myself. Like, yes, I am crazy. I like to do cool stuff or like stuff that people normally wouldn't do, you know, or I'm, you know, I don't really get scared at a lot of things, but you know, I wasn't placing limits on myself that I knew were healthy for me. You know what I mean? I was just doing it because, hey, they tell me to do it, or I was like monkey see, monkey do, like horrible mindset, right?
Yeah, like you didn't have any boundaries for yourself.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm in a pretty good place right now. And like, I think all my friends, you know, we're all chilling. You know, we understand like, oh, like it's fine. Like if you don't do that or whatever, like we're chilling, man. As long as you're here and we're having a good time, that's all that matters, you know? Mm-hmm. And I needed to realize that for myself. And so another strong like point, right, is be the person you are when no one's watching, right? So when nobody's watching, how do you act? That more often than not is your true authentic self. I was like, so can you be that person that you are when nobody else is watching around other people? Like if you can't, it's not necessarily like there's a problem, you know, because I'm sure like again, there's like multiple sides to your authentic self, but it is kind of like, you know, do you really do like a 180? Do you completely change? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you step out the house and are in public, you know what I mean? Because I mean, we're all different. You know, when I'm inside and it's just me by myself, I'm pretty quiet. Just watch YouTube, sit around, work out. I mean, I don't know. I'm not as like active or outgoing. I don't shout. I'm not super energetic. Like I get that out when I'm out with people. You know what I mean? But another thing, right, is like know your why. Like why are you doing this? And that one I'm still kind of having trouble like even figuring out for myself. Like, I know why I'm doing certain things, you know, like I'm going to college because I want to get a good job that pays a good amount so that way we can get a house and live, you know, a pretty good life with, you know, kids, dogs, nice cars, you know, stuff like that. Like, I know, like, that's my why, but like my daily driver, like, why am I getting up and doing things, you know? And like, there's you, right? And like, you're one of my biggest whys, but there's like in my head, it's like, what else is there? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm still trying to figure out.
Yeah, like something personal you can think of.
Yeah. And so like, I want to better myself, but I don't feel this strong like gravitation towards wanting to better myself. Like if I'm not thinking about, you know, a house that we're going to live in, or if I'm not thinking about you or thinking about my dogs or anything, if I'm not thinking about anybody else and I'm just thinking about me, I have no motivation to get up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if what is it? And I kind of realized this during the pandemic, right? Like the peak of it, when it was all online, everybody was home, rarely went out. I was sleeping in super late, right?
Yeah.
And it's because I didn't have a why, and I still don't really have one, but I'm getting better at it. And it was dead ass. Like I'm not gonna wake up for myself. I have to wake up for others. You know what I mean? And that's a pretty poor mindset. And I'm trying to get better at understanding, like, you know, you got to do stuff for yourself. You got to show some self-love, right? And you know, I'm showing self-love. Got a good grooming, like routine down, and I'll do stuff that I enjoy now again. And you know, that's helping me get up, like, for myself. But I'm still having to get better at it, you know. And it was kind of interesting, just reminiscing on that during that first like seminar session. And I was like, man, I was like sitting in the crowd just like, damn, what the fuck? Like, that's crazy. Like, what is my why? You know, because she started asking on random people, like, hey, what's your why? You know? And I was like, fuck. Like, I was getting nervous. Like, my heart started beating. I was like, if she calls on me, I don't know what I'm going to say, you know? I'm going to be like, hey, I'm going to UTC because, you know, I want a nice job. And I mean, like, that's fine. That's a good why. But, like, what's your personal why? Like, what drives you and you alone? Like, excluding other people and other outside circumstances or goals that you have, you yourself, you know what I mean? And I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't know, it's crazy. I mean, shit, even talking about it now, I'm like, damn, you know, what is it? But yeah, so the one more thing, right, is nurturing those passions that you have, or finding your passion and then nurturing it and letting it grow and evolve and branch out, you know. And this is something that, you know, and I don't blame my parents for it, but she was talking about it and she said, you know, how many here have found their passion in life? And, you know, like 5 people raised their hands. And I was like, nice, right? Out of the like 50 people that were in this like seminar session, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't raise my hand because I was like, shit, I haven't found my passion. You know what I mean? Like, I have people and things that I'm passionate about, but my true passion, like something that I'm like, yeah, that's my fucking bread and butter right there. You know, like I haven't found that. And what is it? She was like, you know, a lot of times growing up, it's your parents' job, right, to kind of help you find those passions. You know, as a responsible parents, they're introducing you to things and trying to get you to find your passion. And a lot of times they're just working with the tools that they have in that moment in time. You know, it was like, she was like, how many people here are siblings? And, you know, I raised my hand. A lot of people raise their hands. They're like, how many here are the firstborn child? You know, some hands go down. My hand stays up. Some hands stay up, right? And she was like, you know, those firstborn child, they are the guinea pigs of the families, right? And she was like, you got to think about, you know, how your parents were only working with what they had at that time, right? And I was thinking, and she started going off. And at this point, I was kind of like not listening. Like, I was listening, but I was like more so listening to my internal dialogue. Like, I was talking to myself how, you know, my parents just wanted the best for me. And she did say that. She was like, a lot of the times, like your guardians, you know, whether it be your parents, grandparents, anything like that, they just want the best for you, right? But like in the instance, like in my case, right, my parents, they did just want the best for me, but they, you know, kind of forced me to choose things even though like I wasn't really ready for it.
Okay.
Like it's almost like life was moving too fast and I didn't have the opportunity to find something that I really enjoyed, you know?
Yeah.
And so like I know I enjoy things, but I don't have like this clear cut thing of like, yeah, that's I mean, I'm fucking grinding all day on that, you know?
Yeah, like that's the one thing that you always wanted to do or
Yeah,
want to do.
I haven't found that. And again, like I don't blame my parents, but it is kind of because of that. Like they didn't help me. They didn't want to put, you know, they didn't want to push on the brakes. They didn't want to let me take like an off year. You know, they didn't want to like rush me into immediately joining some sort of art or extracurricular activity outside of school, you know, for me to find something that I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And even if sometimes I was choosing things out of my own, you know, my own will, it was kind of like I had this sense of pressure to just do it. Like I needed to get out there and do something because if not, you know, they were going to be upset with me. And, you know, so I never had the opportunity to find something that I enjoyed. And then for them to, you know, really push those passions, you know, really nurture them and allow me to grow. Like my brother, I mean, he's killing it in band. He's always practicing. He has tons of instruments in his room. He's doing amazing. And I am so happy for him that he found that and that my parents are nurturing that passion. You know, they were giving him like paying for lessons. I mean, he was getting really into it. He's super excited coming back from the competitions and all that. And I am so happy for him. Like I could not be happier for him because he found that, you know, but I am also envious because I haven't found that. And I mean, it's not entirely like the fault of my parents, you know, it is also me. Like, I mean, I guess I couldn't help that I couldn't find it, right? But it's just, you know, at this point in my life, it is up to me to find that and to really find myself, like, what do I enjoy doing, you know? And I mean, I'm going to stick with, you know, real estate and finance because, like, as my dad tells me all the time, you know, it's too late. You know, you got to find something to stick with it. He hates bouncing around. And that's like all I've been doing, you know? And I mean, that is kind of going back to what she says, like, you know, stop seeking others' approval, even your parents' approval, you know, because you know what's best for yourself more often than not. And so, you know, if you got to do something that your parents just don't like, you know, sometimes you just got to do that. And that's what she was looking at us. She was like, you're adults. You're in college, legal adults. Y'all can make y'all's own decisions. I was like, stop looking to your parents for approval for every single thing that you do. You know, she was like, because at the end of the day, they're still going to love you. Because if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Y'all are adults. Y'all can get through it. Persevere. I was like, damn. Like, this shit was really speaking to me. I did not expect, like, this sort of
conference.
Yeah, like, I was expecting kind of a surface level, like, be your authentic self. Be you. And then I was like, no, I'm into this. Like, a lot of shit was relating to me. I mean, it was pretty good. But shit, man, I've been talking for so long. Anyway, so second session, right? We get to the second session. It was just kind of like an active one. Like we had somebody from the recreation center come over and it was like these drumstick exercises. Super fun. Got way more sweaty than I expected to. My legs were still sore like 2 days later. So we should definitely try that. Like those workouts because they were super fun. But yeah, then we did like a closing conference, got a free book. The author signed it. He had like a closing keynote speech talking about service and all that. So I can get into that into a later episode. But yeah, overall, pretty cool conference. I learned a lot about myself, I think, and kind of what I can do to better improve, you know, my current situation and how I can look at things better. And yeah, that was really honestly okay. Go ahead, get into your conference.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm just looking at like how long we've been recording, and
oh no,
I can't believe how long
okay.
I've been talking. But it was a pretty cool experience, and I'm looking forward to the next Leader U conference that hopefully I can sign up for.
No, yeah, it sounded really insightful. I was getting into it. That's why I was just listening. I was like, oh yeah, that's true. That's true. So my conference, it was actually online. I didn't go anywhere. It was through like the Zoom app, you know. And it was kind of more informative on what to do when you go or you want to apply to law school.
Yeah.
So I actually did take notes. I forgot. It was the end where I didn't take notes because they were kind of answering like questions that people had. So I was like, oh, like I'll just listen, you know. But so some subjects we talked about were like application timeline. So this is like, oh, your personal statement and like any recommendations that you have. A resume, y'all, I did not know I needed a resume. That's awkward. So I wrote down like what to do for that. I mean, it's just like a normal resume, you know, that you would submit to a job. But, you know, I have to think about, oh my gosh, excuse me, my throat is so dry. I had to think about things that would show I'm a leader and that I'd make a good lawyer. So they did talk about like part-time jobs, like if you're somewhere kind of like HEB, even Costco. So thank goodness I got the position. Shows that you have like customer service experience and then like being able to handle certain situations, which I do. And I got that from my last job too, so I'm thankful for that. And I can put that on my resume and be like, hey, I know how to do customer service. Because that's basically kind of like what a lawyer is. You know, like I'm listening to the person, what their problem is, what I need to solve for them. And then, you know, like be able to present it well and also like make them feel heard and not just like, oh, like I'm just doing this because I'm doing it. But like I actually have a passion to do it, you know? So that's something I didn't think about. I didn't think about how that's what lawyers were. Because it is, like it's true. I'm going to be dealing with people and it's because of these people that I'm going to have any type of position anywhere, you know? So
Yeah.
It's good to have those customer service experiences, I guess you would say. I don't know. All right. And then they were also talking about how St. Mary's has a fully online program. And that's very interesting to me because I kind of like doing online school. I don't want to do everything online, but at least some classes. So I'm hoping by the time like I apply and, you know, hopefully get in, that they'll have like a half and half. Because right now it's either you're fully online or fully in person. At least that's the way that I interpreted it as. Because I don't know, we didn't go over it like for that long because it was only an hour-long session and it was online. So it's like, how much can you truly do with an online session? But they also want to be cautious because of the virus and stuff. So they're like, everyone's coming from like, or everyone that was on was from like different parts of Texas. It wasn't just San Antonio. So I thought that was very interesting. And apparently like St. Mary's Law School, it's like one of the few like where we are. So a lot of people go to it and that's why like they open the fully online program. So people wouldn't have to like leave and move because we also don't have that many dorms.
Yeah.
Like thinking about
y'all's
it.
campus is pretty small. Like,
it is.
Because I've been going to it with you for a long time. I know your campus a lot better than my own.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it's just because of the size of it. You know, I mean, I got confused in the parking lot of UTSA like the first day that I went in person, just trying to find, I mean, it was a jungle, like just trying to find places where I could park. I ended up parking in the garage like for the first week and yeah, did not do that again because that shit will rack up over the semester. But no, yeah, your campus is way smaller, so I can imagine that it's hard to accommodate to like a lot of students that are trying to go there.
Yeah, they also said that they got so many applications, even people that they wanted to admit, they couldn't because they didn't have enough room. So that kind of scared me. I'm not going to lie. But I have to think about it. Like I'm applying earlier and I'm doing like the early program. So hopefully I'll have like an advantage, you know? At least I hope so. I don't know. That kind of scared me. But yeah, after the online program, we talked about personal statements and they're like, oh, like every school is different. I forgot to mention this was like from 3 universities, but St. Mary's was one of them. So I went because I wanted to hear like what other people had to say, but I'm still gonna just apply to St. Mary's. Anyways, yeah, so we're talking about like the length and stuff. It's supposed to only be like 2 pages double spaced. And that was good information to know because I probably would have wrote like a fat essay or like a page. I don't know. I'm either or. But I finished it actually. Kind of. I finished it like the day after we had this conference because I was like, I'm behind. Like I felt like people were already, like they had their resume done, they had their letters of recommendation. But I also have to remember I'm only a sophomore and these people were like gonna graduate. So it's very different.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so I always forget that I'm younger. Like for most.
Yeah, for what you're trying to go for and like where you're at in your degree, like yeah, you are a lot younger than most people.
Yeah, it's just I feel like I'm not as informed sometimes. And then I feel like I need to catch up. But how am I supposed to catch up? Like, I can only take so many credits at a time.
Well, all it is that they got like time on you, you know? I mean, this is only your first year in person. A lot of these people have had previous years of in-person college, you know?
Yeah, they
So,
know what it's like, how professors are.
yeah, but I mean, I think you're doing pretty solid, and I don't think you're too different as far as the other people go. You know, like they might hold themselves high and mighty, but at the end of the day, like you are still at the same point as far as getting into law school. And
Yeah.
so, you know, don't even worry about it. Like, if anything, just look at it as a learning opportunity, you know,
Mhm.
because there might be those people that are nice and open and willing to share that information with you. And then you can talk to them and, you know, everything will be cool.
Yeah.
And you'll find somebody, a potential mentor, you know, even.
I really want that, like a mentor or an internship. It's something that I'm working on. But they also said that if you don't have like a law internship or anything dealing with law as an internship or any experience and you apply to law school, that doesn't like degrade you.
Yeah.
Because they know like people have different circumstances that they have to accommodate for. And I was like, that's really good because I felt behind because of the pandemic. But I have to remember everybody was put behind because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, even if people had internships, it's not like they could physically go. So, there's a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, you're good. I mean, everybody's still kind of getting over all the COVID setbacks. But I think we're doing fine. Sometimes you just got to take a breather, you know. Everybody's trying to go, like, super fast.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, hey, let's put in a turtle, bro. Let's take it easy. Let's breathe. Let's look at the big picture. You know, how can we get there?
Yeah. And so that's why I did my personal statement first. Because I was like, oh, let me do letters of recommendation. Those should be easy. They're not, because I only know like one professor really good. So not that easy.
It's not like high school
where I had like 20 people or like 20 teachers.
Everyone. I was like, damn, bro. Like, I knew like 5.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah. Well, now I have one.
Yeah. I have nobody.
Damn. But so yeah, that was the second or third thing that we went over, letters of recommendation and kind of who you want to get them from. They like academics, but they also are like, well, what do you do outside of school? You know, like, what's your life outside of school? And I think that's very important. My parents have always told me like, oh, like it's good to have good grades and all of that. And you want to have extracurriculars. And maybe that's why I was in a lot of things. I had too many extracurriculars. But now I don't have any. So I'm like at square one right now. But I'm trying to take one thing at a time, you know?
Yeah.
So I figured out school. Oh, this is how I should do it. And then I got a job and I'm trying to incorporate that into my school life. And it is stressful. But, you know, a lot of people did it. My parents did it. They went to college and they had full-time jobs. So it's just something I have to figure out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're in totally different circumstances too.
We are.
Compared to our parents. You know?
It's just I want to be able to show that I have time management. I'm a good leader. I have obviously customer service experience. And they also talked about that, like I said before, but getting letters of recommendation from like your supervisors. And that's something I never thought about. Like, you could ask your part-time job. Like, just because it's a part-time job doesn't mean it's any less valuable to you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, at least personally for me, when I thought of, applying to law school, everything had to be academics. Like, it didn't matter if I had a part-time job. But it does. Like, it does matter because it shows that you have character and you're willing to work with other people.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then after we talked about that, like I said, it was a really short conference. We talked about the Lsat.
Stinky.
That is a whole other topic that I've kind of studied for. I haven't signed up for it yet because I wasn't sure how this first semester was going to go.
Yeah.
But I plan on taking it next fall. So during December, I need to start practicing for it and studying even harder, you know, because every now and then I'll go over a chapter or something. And then I'm like, I'm still not signed up for it. I'm fine. But I feel like I need to put that deadline so I can actually get stuff done. Because if not, it's not going to get done. And then I'm going to be like, I need to sign up for the LSAT and realize I only have like a week to study for it. And that would be very awkward. And something I didn't know St. Mary's did was that if you took the LSAT more than once, they kind of combine your grade. So I just want to take that girl once so I can get a really good grade. But they also like take into account your GPA.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep my GPA really high. Man, there's all these things that I'm thinking about that kind of stress me out a little. But then I gotta realize, like, it's okay.
Yeah, you're fine. It's not
Like
you're
one
doing all
B
this shit
isn't
at
gonna
once,
kill me, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
But I still want A's.
Yeah. Honestly, that's like one of the best mentalities I think I've ever put myself in. That like a B isn't the end of the world.
Yeah. I'm still having that problem.
Or even even a C, man. I mean, I think in your instance, like a C maybe is a little more detrimental, but for my situation, a C is not the end of the world.
Yeah. They discussed that too. They were like, you know, we admit people that may not have the highest grades or the highest Lsat score. And there's like this other test you can take, but you don't have to take it. Like it's really just the Lsat and your GPA and stuff. But just because you don't have like those high scores doesn't mean you're not going to get in, or it doesn't mean that you don't have like an equal chance. Something that they really look at is your personal statement. So when they said that, I put it all in, gave my deepest, darkest secret, and had my friend look at it. She edited some of it. There was a lot of times where she added like questions, and I feel like those questions helped me add more, you know. But that was very helpful. And then I sent it to my professor from fall of 2020. He's the one that I think we have more of like a relationship with, you know, because he was my English professor, my first English professor. He was really nice. You know, we had discussions in class, even though it was on Zoom. And I feel like because of that, the whole class became comfortable with him. So it's kind of like, oh, like he's an English professor. He's really nice. Someone I can talk to if I have questions, and he's going to answer them. So I asked him to look at it, even though he's not my professor this semester, or he wasn't even my professor of spring 2021. But he has a lot of good like insight on just a bunch of things. So I sent it to him. He edited like some parts. And then again, he just asked questions. I feel like I'm at that point in college where a lot of people are like, we're not just going to tell you what to change, but we're going to influence what you change and how you should change it. And it was very helpful. I haven't added that second part or the part that he mentioned, just because I don't really know how to explain it, just of the circumstance that I explained. So, yeah. Overall, I feel like my personal statement is very valuable to me right now.
I thought it was pretty good. Yeah. Definitely the more eyes you can get on it, as long as you're comfortable with it, the better it'll be, because then you'll have a lot more perspective too, you know. And I remember I watched a video about something. It was about college admission, which I know is different than law school, but it was kind of like, you know, even if you give like a super heart-wrenching story, right? I was like, if you're not getting across the message that the prompt or the whole purpose of the essay is trying to get across, you know, it's like they'll be like, man, that's a very powerful story, but you didn't really answer what we're asking of you, you know?
Yeah, and for St. Mary's, because I looked at, like, what do they want me to write about? Is there something specific? It really was just an event that shaped you.
Okay.
And in the conference, they elaborated more like, an event that shaped you, like shaped your character, made you think differently, I don't know, like influenced you to want to be a lawyer, and something around like that area. So in my essay, it was kind of like, I went through this experience, and because I went through it, I can empathize with other people, and also, I don't know, just have a different viewpoint than other people would, since they haven't gone through a similar experience.
Yeah.
And because of that, it'll build my character to be a lawyer. You know? I'll be able to like, man, what's the word that I was looking for? I'm like thinking in my head. I don't know. But I don't know. I'll just be able to come across better because of this event.
Yeah.
That was like the definition for the word that I wanted, and I can't remember.
The empathize?
No, it's not empathize. It's like fight for, but I'm not fighting. Represent. There we go. I'll be able to represent these people better.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a solid essay. But I am no English professor, so
But yeah.
definitely the more eyes you can get on it, the better it'll be.
Yeah, this conference I went to, it explained some of the stuff that other conferences have explained, like, oh, you need a Lsat, you need to prepare for that. You need letters of recommendation. Every school is different, so be careful when applying. But they made me feel more comfortable because they were talking about people they've admitted. Obviously not saying like their names or their scores, but kind of like situations. And I was like, oh, that makes me feel better because sometimes I feel like I haven't gone through anything that has actually like changed my life. And when I started thinking about it and they were giving examples, I was like, oh, never mind. Like, I got a life-changing event.
Oh my goodness. Well,
but yeah, it was nice to listen.
Yeah.
And hear them be so like confident in us, even though they don't know us. I don't know. Maybe that's their persona. It was nice. I liked it.
I think we had some pretty solid conferences, but yeah, we're at that 45-minute mark. So good time to close out the episode. We hope you enjoyed this nice conversation. Hope you all got some inspiration, learned something. Because I know we did during our conferences.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I was happy to share the information with you. I know Marisol was too. But yeah, so closing statements. Make sure to follow us on our social media pages at livewithjm pod on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Check out our Amazon affiliate links. It's at no extra cost to you, just some products that we recommend. If you buy something, we get a small kickback. Just a great way to support the channel. Or not the channel, I guess kind of the channel.
It
the
is
show.
kind of a channel.
Great way to support the show.
One day we'll have a YouTube channel that we actually post on.
Yeah, we have the YouTube channel. We just haven't posted. What I'm going to actually convert all of our audios coming here probably around December. Yeah, I'd say about December. I'm going to convert all of our audios into some kind of like moving graphics and post them to YouTube. And then we're thinking of doing like vlogs or something like that, like whenever we go on our coffee trips. Or like when we go to Austin.
That would be so cute and so fun.
So
just for us to look back on too.
Probably just going to use our phones. But I do want to invest in a camera at some point. But yeah, anyways, just kind of throwing that out there that we're thinking about doing that with the YouTube channel and such. But anything else before we close out the episode?
No, I think you covered everything.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.